the historical importance of our gathering affirms this MOU agreement. It also affirms our support for the Asia-Pacific Union to usher in and firmly establish a new era of Africa, the era of the Pacific Rim civilization. Heavenly Parent has blessed Africa. Africa is a blessed continent. It relies as the continent of the future, the continent of the hope, and the continent that shines brightly.
On behalf of all the African leaders, True Mother and President Issoufou signed the declaration. The campaign for the establishment of Chanegok in Africa involved representatives of 54 nations. For the first time in history of the Providence, through the African Continental Summit, the foundation for the restoration of a continent was established. On the second day, we had the Niger True Family Festival and Peace Blessing. The venue had already filled to capacity with 700 representative couples from among 2,100 pre-blessed couples, all dressed in their traditional Muslim attire for the blessing ceremony. The True Mother and Mother of Humanity entered the hall in which all leaders were awaiting, dressed in their traditional attire. Among the 10 projects, the Blessed Africa project proposes the 10th is the True Family Blessing Movement and Blessing Ceremony, which means that they've accepted the True Family Blessing Movement and Blessing Ceremony. As such, the Niger Blessing Ceremony was also a continental level blessing ceremony for Africa.
이 나라가 하늘의 긍휼을 받을 수 있는, 하늘의 축복을 받을 수 있는 나라가 됨을 참 부모는 하늘 앞에 감사드리면서 이제 이들로 말미암아 이 니젤이 하늘 부모님을 모신 신 니젤로서 인류가 소망하는 꿈, 자유, 평등, 평화, 통일의 행복한 지상 천국을 이루는 데 있어서 앞장설 수 있는 이 민족, 이 나라 축복받은 가정들이 될 수 있도록 참 부모님의 이름으로 축원 선포하나이다.
The original dream has come true and was offered to God. And Heavenly Niger was blessed with love and will live on and attend Heavenly Parent. Blessed families offered chanson, and young representatives made the purity pledge and sang songs of joy. True Mother gave plaques of appreciation to the Prime Minister of Niger, Brigi Rafini, and President of the National Assembly, Husseini Titini, who gave congratulatory speeches representing the government of Niger. Thus, the flame of peace from Korea, the motherland of the Providence, was lit on the African continent. As True Mother was cutting the victory cake to celebrate the 60th anniversary of True Parents' holy wedding and what would have been True Father's 100th birthdays, she had a big smile as she received the offerings of her Muslim children. We concluded and offered all the ceremonies to God. This was a historic day on which Heavenly Parents' dream and True Father's wish came true. A new day has dawned on the heavenly continent of Africa. True Mother works to wipe out with a warm heart the wrongs and sorrows of the people of the world. She maintains a radiant smile despite a tired body. For God and humanity, Nations express their immense filial piety and make things happen on a continental level. We sincerely hope that you will become true sons and daughters of filial piety, through whom true parents can accomplish a history of miracles as a result of the victories they build up on their world tour. It is with these words that we end today's edition. Thank you for following us, and may God bless you.
And good evening from London. This week, of course, we have been following the election that took place on Thursday, and in Britain now we face a new future. And today we had a meeting in the South London Peace Embassy of all our leaders and pastors. We worshiped together. We heard reports and testimonies of the great things that are going on. And we made our plans for next year, when we want to invite our true mother to come to London and declare Shin United Kingdom. There's a lot of work to do, but we're confident and we believe that it can happen.
So we just had our first National Providence meeting, which I think is really a good initiative to bring about a bit more unity, I guess, furthering the Providence in the UK. And I feel quite motivated by it, actually.
It's very inspiring to see some of the goals that True Mother has for us. It's great to start planning ahead so that we can meet some of these goals.
We have the kick-off meeting, first of its kind here in the United Kingdom, to start a new spirit, a new fire. I want to invite God's fire come down in the community, in this nation. We just had an election, and we hope that this will clear away all the past and not look behind, but look forward to the great things we can do here in the United Kingdom. God bless you all.
Earlier this week,
Hello brothers and sisters, greetings from Albania. We are so happy to report to you that today we just started the Chombo workshop here in Tirana, and 251 brothers and sisters joined this workshop this time. And actually among them there are 40 ambassadors for peace and among HTM couples. The atmosphere is so high. We are so grateful to the Chombo team who have been working so hard recently everywhere all over Europe, and then here they are doing an amazing job. The newcomers, they feel so inspired, and we are expecting great experiences tomorrow during the ancestor liberation ceremony, Hyojong offering papers, and also blessing ceremony of our ancestors. We are working together to really bring true parents' ideal come true, and then the Chombo, it's so important, so precious to help and make this come true. Thank you so much.
meanwhile, there's amazing things going on all over our region as we come to the end of the year. A special shout out to UPF in the Ukraine and also in Russia, where they're holding many meetings with ambassadors for peace.
On December 12 in Moscow, UPF had a meeting of Ambassadors for Peace. The program marked the Russian Constitution Day, celebrated on the date. Participants studied UPF principles of God being the center of families and nations. Svetlana Savitskaya of the Russian Writers' Pen Association conferred a plaque of appreciation for partnership to UPF.
Finally, brothers and sisters, please pray for the World Clergy Leadership Conference in New Jersey. We're sending over 100 ministers from Europe, and here in the UK we've been trying to educate them and prepare them for what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a great festival of the Spirit. Let's pray that True Mother can finish the year with a wonderful victory. Thank you.
two-time Grammy Award-winning artists Hezekiah Walker, Kim Burrell, Joanne Rosario, and a 2,000 voice choir under the direction of Emmy Award-winning director A. Curtis Barrow. An inspirational message by world-renowned pastor Bishop Noel Jones and keynote speaker, the Mother of Peace, Dr. Haq Jahan Moon. Peace Starts With Me, Saturday, December 28th at 3 p.m. at the Prudential Center in Newark. For free tickets and more information, go to peacestartswithme.com.
Köszönjük szépen! Szeretettel köszöntelek mindnyájatokat itt a Békeházban a mai vasárnapi istentisztelet alkalmával, és mindazokat, akik interneten keresztül csatlakoznak a mai istentiszteletünkhöz. Folytassuk énekléssel a felkészülésünket. Szeretném kérni a kórust, hogy fáradjon előre, illetve mindnyájatokat arra, hogy álljatok fel és csatlakozzatok.
We'll manage it this way. Sounds utilize the creativity.
When the morning comes, oh,
Oh, no.
Köszönöm. És akkor most a reprezentatív felajánlásához szeretném kérni Farizát, hogy fáradjon ki és ajánljon fel egy imát.
Most beloved Heavenly Parents, we come to you to offer to you our Sunday service, to offer our heart, all the week in front of us, everything we would like to offer to you and open our heart to your words that you wish to talk to each one of us through David. We pray for Mother, who is so much investing, making effort to go over all her limits physically, that even she doesn't have a good health, still she is pushing herself so much for the providence. And we pray that we can support her through our heart, through our prayers, to unite with her, and wherever we are, we can do also our best to support the providence. We would like to invite you here to be with us, to offer our Sunday service to you, and all the week in front of us. We pray for all this. I report in my name, Harisa Nagy, member of Blessed Central Family. Amen.
Köszönöm szépen. Kérlek, foglaljatok helyet. És akkor a mai Isten tisztelet megtartásához szeretném kérni Dávidot. Kérlek, fáradj előre, titeket pedig arra kérlek, hogy fogadjátok nagy szeretettel.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. How are you? You are waiting when it's finished, no? Okay. Anyway, I was thinking about myself, which kind of Sunday service I am giving, and I was thinking that I need to have some inspiring things. So I look on my servants when I started to give them, and I found one about the hope. So who have good memory and was here 2 years ago and some months, maybe he will realize it same. But I think this is very important. If we see through Mother how she is going, she is trying to keep hope in us. And if we think about the, I can say too that many of us, we are going to situation that we don't see hope sometimes. Very difficult. And you can think that this is your personal issue, or that, I don't know, how are you? Do you have hope that you will live in Chonilguk, in Heavenly Kingdom? Who have the hope? Oh. And who sometimes struggle with this hope and sometimes losing this hope? Yeah. If just we think, for example, if you are parents about your children, whether you will be able to help to your children to live in Chonilguk. You realize that, for yourself you can take responsibility easily, but already if you have a wife, it's different person, but still you can agree on things. But if you have children, this is also a completely different entity, and we should have same attitude like Heavenly Parent. So we should think about people outside on the street, like the children of Heavenly Parent, who should live in the Chonilguk together with us. It means, they have to accept true parents and live according to the values of true parents. But, when we are struggling with hope, I believe that we are very close to a situation where Heavenly Parents was. If you imagine how he felt, for example, when Jesus was crucified, or all the history you can see, when Israelites turned out of him and don't want to support him, divided, for Israel and Judea, and, worshipping wrong God, not doing the right things, So, if you are parents and you try to educate the children, you can much more feel how heavenly parents felt in the Garden of Eden. Because he advised to his children how he imagined that, how he created them, that they should live. But, they somehow have different opinion. Yeah, and he somehow have to accept it, but with all the knowledge, which he have, he somehow have the imagination what will come out of it. And indeed, in today's world, we see the results. Yeah. So you can even read in the Bible that Heavenly Parents sometimes was said that He created mankind. Yeah, so for Heavenly Parents to keep, this faith in people who, indeed, in majority, through Mother said it, to the priest, that in majority people turn to Heavenly Parents with some request. Yeah, I would need health for me, for people I love. I would like blessing, that my life is more easy. But there was very few people who turned to Heavenly Parent with the heart that I would like to help you, because I see how your children are living, and I would like to provide you a help. I believe this is the things which distinguish us from other religions, the understanding of Heavenly Parents. Because if you will ask the Christians, I believe they are not thinking that they need to comfort the heart of Heavenly Parents. They would need help to Him. They just would like to do the things that Heavenly Parents can bless them. But it didn't come to their mind, that they would like to comfort Heavenly Parents and help Him that, He don't need to suffer more. So, yeah, I think this was, when you think about Heavenly Parents, how He was going through all the restoration, through all the situation, again and again prolongation, that He kept the faith in people, that they will not betray Him, It was very difficult to keep the hope. Yeah. And you can look on true parents, true parent situation, whether you can have the prisons for true father, You know that when true father was in Danbury, do you know what he did? I mentioned already several times. In Danbury time, there was many revelations that after 21-year course, which started 1960 to 1981, and after in 3 years course, that finally will come the blessing and people will start to accept, the true parents. And what came? The most, promising son, Janim, the second son, passed to spirit world, and true father have to go to prison, Or if you think about Hunnam prison circumstances as the Messiah, it seems impossible, the circumstances. In the Danbury true father was reading all his speeches again and again, thinking whether he didn't do something wrong, because it's not going automatically. You can see that true father was working, 92 years, and he didn't bring, to Chonuguk to such state which he expected or which he was thinking he will do, because still there are wars, still the children are suffering, and from true parents' viewpoint, heart of the parents, it's not that, they can live in the Chongjonggung, in palace and thinking that, Chongguk is restored because, we have nice home, because they are the parents. So for them, if 7.6 billion people, on the earth and in spirit world are not living in Chongguk, they cannot feel good, same as Heavenly Parents cannot feel good. same as whatever parents will not feel good, if his children are not living well. So from that viewpoint, it's very difficult. So I think every time when you are facing with such situation that you don't have the hope, I think you should remember that we are following such the religious leader like true parents which were facing such situation. Or today, children are turning against true mother, for example. Some close disciple like Reverend Quag, turn against true father. There was such as many and many things, and still they kept the hope. I think this is very important. If you think about early Christians, Jesus went to the cross, so somehow they have to go through the martyrdom. Nobody liked to be put on the cross, I believe. You will not like it neither. But, because Jesus went this way, they have to follow similar way. So if we see that, heavenly parents and true parents were continuously in their course striving to keep the hope and, continue their effort, we will be challenged in these issues because we are following them to some extent. No, I don't say that, we will be challenged so much because probably we don't have the foundation. But everybody will be challenged, to the extent he can bear. Yeah, so we need to find somewhere hope. Yeah. Why we don't see the hope in the things? Often I see the problem that we would like to live in Chonilguk, but there is very few people who would like to build up the Chonilguk. It's really different, different approach to the things. If you would like to be blessed and live, nice and live happy, or if you have the mindset that I would really contribute to building such a things. This is very similar indeed, coming whether we are looking on the way like self-centered or with the public mind, This is same in the marriages, today, People think that I need partner with whom I can be happy. And if I am not happy with my partner, I will find somebody else. This is same like, building of Chonilguk, I would like to live in the Chonilguk, and if I'm not living there, I'm looking somewhere else where I can go. But if I would like to build up the Chonilguk, this is like that I would like to create a family where I can be happy with my spouse, with my children, and I take responsibility for it. We are asked to be the tribal Messiah. This means that we should be the one who will be the representative of true parents and heavenly parents for our tribe. So that we will have the heart that for our tribe we will guide them to Chonilguk. We will create the Chonilguk for them as the parents try to create Chonilguk for their children. It's very easy for small children to do it. I mean, relatively easy because you create nice environment, nice room where they can play, you take them to the playing ground, and children are living in the heavenly kingdom because they are okay. Yeah? When they are growing and meeting, more and more outside the world, you realize that this world is not completely right concerning the public purpose and individual purpose in the right harmony, so people can misuse each other and can harm each other. Yeah, and if we have wrong expectations, what do you think that can come from it? Disappointment, resentment, negative feelings. Resentment. It's very, very interesting to think about these feelings, Everything can be just, especially resentment is centered on the individual, You every time, when you have resentment, you think that, I am not appreciated, I didn't receive what I deserve. It's everything starting with I, you know. If you will think, for example, in the marriage that I would like to make my spouse happy, you cannot have resentment, you know, because your space, you know, of your activity, how you can make happy your spouse is open, you know. If your spouse is not happy that you give massage, you know, you can go with him or her, you know, to, I don't know, cinema or somewhere. Basically, we are free. Once we are accepting the Heavenly Parents' way of life, that we would like to make the other person happy, we are free, we are without limitation. Because we are the owner. We can give as much as we can, but every time we should give unconditionally. That what we give, we really give because we want to make happy the partner, and because we want to feel our children to Heavenly Parents. Because Heavenly Parents, it's parent of everybody. So if I am making my wife happy, I should think that I am making Heavenly Parents happy from it. Because I receive from Heavenly Parents so much love and care. So if I want to return, I should make happy, you know, his beautiful daughter, my wife, my children, people around me. And, you know, with this mindset, you know, we can be free of the negativity. It's not easy, you know, neither for me. But it's showing that the motivation, our heart, is really decisive, you know, which motivation we have, which approach we have, which heart we have. So every time when we enter in some problem, we should really think about it and be really owner of the situation. Check whether our expectation, our motivation was correct. And if not, we can change it. You know, we cannot change other people. You know? I cannot change you, you cannot change me. We can just inspire other people. But what we can change is our expectation, our approach. Yeah. So, from where the hopes come? You said that you have hope. Many of them, you raise up the hands. From where the hopes come for you? When you really feel that it's difficult, from where you find the hope? Pardon? From God. And how? From God?
I just feel that even when it's very difficult, if God didn't use this hope, then I shouldn't. I try to feel this.
That's really very nice. Yeah. Yeah, we should really cling to Heavenly Parents. If He didn't lose the hope, yeah, it's true. It's very true that. And through Mother saying continuously, Heavenly Parents is unchangeable, and His ideal will be one day realized. I was saying this to myself also in the church, you know, that indeed, you know, we have to finish everybody in the heavenly kingdom, because Heavenly Parents is almighty, and He will never give up till we will be there in heavenly kingdom. Whatever we do, it's really true, you know, and we can cling to Him. You know, sometimes when I was struggling with the issues, and I really felt that I cannot be so much useful. It was on fundraising. I had many challenging things, you know. I get to like the fundraising that, you know, I even fundraised last week, you know. I took one day of holiday, I went to check for the business trip, I went to fundraise again, you know, to keep myself in spirit. So, but I had really nice experiences with fundraising, and I mean, I learned a lot through it because I invest. And it was time that I really fell down so much, and I was not able to move. I was not even able to ring the bell, you know. I came 3 times, you know, to ring in the bell, but every time, you know, I was not able. And I was saying, you know, if I'm not able to even press this button, how I can build up the Chorley book? How I can build up the idol family? You cannot, you know. How you can care about the children if you are not able to press the button, you know. I felt really so desperate. It was, you know, struggling with me and with the guidance Heavenly Parents was giving to me, and which I didn't want to accept. It was quite a common that time, you know. Many people who joined, like young, you know, especially brothers, they every time said, you know, yeah, we will build up heavenly kingdom, and after we will ask Heavenly Parents that He erases us from the history, because we cannot accept the way, you know, Heavenly Parents are guiding us, because we were too much proud, you know, to accept the guidance. So we said, yeah, we have to be erased because we don't accept it. This is, you know, over our pride. But we also understand that we cannot fight with Heavenly Parent, you know, because we were enough smart under the experiences. So we said, yeah, we have to be erased, you know. People are somehow eternal, but maybe because we deserve it, because we work hard, Heavenly Parents will erase us down. Anyway, but when I was struggling with this, you know, it's very easy to imagine, you know. I was thinking, okay, if I cannot be in the church, I have to leave, you know. If I leave, what I will do, you know. The evil will surely guide me, you know, to make the physical fall. If I make the physical fall, you know, some relationship, I will not have any hope, so I will make the suicide, you know. So I said, you know, I have maximum half year to live. And yeah, struggling with this, finally I found out that, yeah, Heavenly Parent is my parent, and if somebody has some problem with me, he should turn to my parent, you know, it's been to Heavenly Parent. And from that time, you know, it's helped me a lot. This is what the Shushi said, that, you know, if Heavenly Parents have hope, if Heavenly Parents trust me and love me, you know, indeed other people can see the mistake on me, you know, it's true, I have them. But if they really want to manage, they should manage with my parent, you know, and I can put it out of me. You know, it's not needed to put me down. Yeah, and once I overcome this, indeed it was really, really helpful for me, and I was able to go on. And I'm very grateful for that experience. So, yeah, because Heavenly Parents don't have hope, don't lose hope. And He don't lose hope in each one of us, you know. Even in each one of person outside, because He will never give up, you know, till all the people are in Chonelmuk, we can have hope also. Yeah, this is very important. So Zsuzsi said it very well. We should have hope from Heavenly Parent. We can also see the hope from the changes and from the expectation of the changes we see. We see now how True Mother is going on. It's very interesting if you will see how the world is developing. You can see that after True Father was born, 1920, you know, the life of people changed really dramatically. And if you see that from 1960, when True Parents were blessed, even much more, you know, all the computers and this, they start after this. You know, I know they were before. I don't know who know the history of the computers. Do you know which computers were first? They were calling them analog computers, you know, I studied it long time ago. Already during the Second World War, to calculate the ballistic things. It was not computer, it was just, you know, some kind of, based on the characteristic of the parts, you know, electric parts, you know, it was showing, you know, how you should make the shooting, you know, and calculate the ballistic things, or, you know, for the torpedo on the submarines, you know, that you basically catch the right things, you know. So you just set up some kind of the value on the resistance, and it somehow show you which distance you need. It was based on the derivation, who know the mathematics. So, yeah, this was the first, but after 1960, the analog, it means, not analog, digital, you know, 0 and 1 prevail and develop to such incredible things, which we can see now in smartphone and computer things, which helping artificial intelligence, and it's go on, you know. So we can see that, you know, True Parents, of course you can look on it that it's change going automatically, but for me, if you, for example, study what Einstein bring up, you know, his theory of relativity, you know, the computers are based on this theory of relativity. You know, on the Newton physics, you cannot build up the computers, because, you know, it's going with the things you know, which coming close to like electricity, you know, close to the speed of light, you know, you cannot calculate normally. You know, so Einstein theory was basis for the, and after special quantum theory, you know, also for the, you know, computer. Without this, you cannot make the models. And you know, if you look on the theory which, you know, Einstein came out, it was not be able to measure. You know, you can somehow understand that it's some like revelation. You know. And if heavenly, my understanding is that heavenly parents is giving the knowledge to people, somehow based on, you know, their development. I was one time thinking, you know, why nuclear weapon came out. You know, because, you know, if you think about it, it's very dangerous. You know, it can destroy all mankind. You know. And one I was thinking, you know, it's interesting. You know, sometimes I cannot be sure. You know, of course, but every time, you know, you can have questions, you can ask heavenly parents, you know, if you are interested about something. Why you think, why heavenly parents allowed, you know, why he give this knowledge, you know, to make the nuclear weapon? Yeah, I don't know, you know, I receive inspiration, but I cannot be sure that, you know, there was pact of Molotov-Ribbentrop between the, you know, German. Remember. Every time I need my wife, you know, to correct my English, because I use the Czech pronunciation, which you cannot know, but which is based on my knowledge. Anyway, they decided that they will divide the Poland between themselves, and there was cooperation between the Germany and the Soviet Union, but which after didn't turn on. But if they will continue this cooperation, you know, my understanding was that without nuclear weapon, the America will not be able to win. Heavenly side will not be able to win the Second World War. So I believe that, you know, this direction and this knowledge came, you know, to secure that the heavenly side will win, even if the Russia will cooperate with the Germany, because Germany had very, very high technology. You know, they had the rockets. You know, they have the injectors in the planes. So it's incredible things, you know. In the car industry, it came, you know, sometime, you know, in 1980s, you know, in our car. You know, but already that time, you know, they have the injectors, you know. They have special troops when the big bombarders, which have 26-cylinder engine, controlled by this, fell down, you know, they went there to pick up this unit because it was so precious for them, such a precious know-how, you know, to basically guide the big engine, you know, in a plane. Because if you know the carburetor engine, it needs gravity. And in the airplane, you know, if you go down, you are losing the gravity. So if you can control the injections, it was incredible things which they need, because, you know, these planes, you know, when they were going down, you know, the engine was not working, you know. If you have injections, control and push there, you know, your engine working down, so even you go down, you can basically use the power. So it was very good. Anyway, I don't know to talk, but it's really interesting how these things are developing. But I see that you don't like the technique so much. Okay, so things are developing. From this we can have hope. Yeah, from Chong Song Yong. How we should, which kind of approach we should have to the things. It is dangerous to fall into a routine life of faith. Such a life of faith becomes a condition for Satan, who is always busy trying to find reasons to accuse us. As people walk the path of restoration, Satan does not want to yield even one person. He continuously looks for any opportunity to invite people by any means or method. Invade, not invite, invade, yeah.
Yeah. In this sense, strict religious precepts are beneficial. When individuals fulfill indemnity conditions, Satan can be separated from them on the individual level. However, Satan may again invade on the family level, the tribal level, or the national level. If you lead a worldly life guided by habit, you will tend to get easily caught up by a conventional lifestyle that is not a true way of life. It is better for you to unceasingly practice true love and sacrifice yourself for others, for only then can you overcome Satan. Accordingly, although it may be difficult, when you practice the way of righteousness for the public good, you can experience tremendous fulfillment. We all need to lead such lives.
So you see, through Father can say the things very easily, very condensed, which I try to explain, even I'm not so good. Yeah. The question, we can start the life of faith. Why we live life of faith? What is the purpose of life of faith? Who is living life of faith of you? Every day doing Hondakve, and other things. So why you are doing it? Because if we do something, it's a good question, why we are doing it, to ask. Because, for example, when you eat, you eat. You should also ask why you are eating. Because the motivation will decide. If you want to eat, that you provide healthy element for your body, you will care about what you are eating. If you will eat in order that you feel happy, you can maybe eat things which will make you unhappy and which will destroy your health. Yeah, so the motivation why you do the things will decide. Also for eating, you can see that some people are just eating to be happy and eating unhealthy things, eating maybe too much, and it will be on them, visible. But same with the life of faith, the motivation, I was with my parents, when I was in Czech this week. I was saying that, we were talking about there was actually shooting in Czech in hospital, Some crazy person went there and shoot patient because he was thinking they didn't want to heal him. Yeah. Anyway, that's other things. But I said, gun is neutral thing, same as science, same as religion. It's neutral things, You have knowledge, science, and you can destroy the earth. We see now, global warming, we see pollution, or you can help people to save their life. It's just tool, the science is tool, gun is tool, car is tool. Also, life of faith, this is the tool for us. And how we will use it, depends on us, Nobody say to you that, if you do this, it will bring you good. So, why, the motivation, why we are living the life of faith, this is the decisive. This will decide. The reason from it, same as from this food, when we are eating. And we have to be really sincere to ourselves and we have to work on it. Because nobody of us is perfect. me first. So we cannot say that we are doing it correctly. Because if we will be doing it correctly, we will be perfect. That's the consequence of it. So we have still everybody room of improvement, but it means that we have to make active effort to improve. Because if we have this room of improvement, it will not improve by itself. So why we live the life of faith? This is really important. What is the purpose of our life of faith? The purpose should be we should reconnect with Heavenly Parent. So if we don't feel close to Heavenly Parent, we should think how to do it better, We have to, this is very good on the result. If we see that we are not developing, our relationship with Heavenly Parent, if we are not developing, our understanding how the things should be. If we are, not developing understanding how Chonilguk should look like. How do you imagine Chonilguk? We said that we need to build up the Chonilguk. Not that we should live in it, but we should build it up. We should take responsibility. So, how do you imagine it? If we don't know how it should work, how it should look, it means that we are not making so much effort to build it up. So we should have this clear. My understanding of Chonilguk is it should look like original plan which Heavenly Parents have. We have one parent, they have the children, they have the children. That's the tribal messiahship indeed. That the people will adapt. You cannot come to the original plan without, adapting people outside of your lineage. True parents have to adapt the people on some level, and these people have to adapt other people and take them like the parents, So we have to be like parents, but it's mean really like for our physical children, caring, investing and giving, as the true parents do. when I was discussing, political things in Czech with my parents, I really said, because they said, the politician we have now, Prime Minister, which is quite rich, and, one of the richest men, maybe second richest man in Czech, and actually he's Slovak, but anyway, but he's working Czech. And I said, difference, the true parents they are investing their own money, on conferences, everything they are spending, for well-being of the people. These people, he's very well caring about his own money, that it's even growing, somehow receiving some kind of, donation from other, and using other things. Anyway, I don't want to go in it. But these people will never use their own money for well-being of the Czech or of other people. They are just saying that they know how to make the money, so they will guide the other people. But the true parents is different, True parents then don't let anything for them, They are investing it for other people to make them good. And if we should represent true parents for our tribe, we have to do it the same, Somehow another, we cannot qualify ourselves to that level. So, that's my understanding what is waiting for us. This is my understanding how the Cholnenbuk can be. So Cholnenbuk will be part of the people who will reach this level. This is indeed the most difficult. It is written in Divine Principle that Jesus was looking for one leader who can guide the thousands, rather than 4,000 people who will follow one leader. So some way, heaven, on wisdom, heavenly parents guide all of us with the faith and with belief that we can become such people under the training of true parents, under the guidance. That people, it's incredible that heavenly parents trust us so much. Especially when you think about this beginning, when I was saying that heavenly parents was so much betrayed, and still he keep the trust. Maybe we don't have this trust in ourselves. Maybe we think that, he made the mistake. He should find somebody else. But if you think, how often, heavenly parents went through this situation when people said no, In Bible you have the prophet Jonas, who escaped. Even the, wolf have to fall on him and bring him back. But it's not the only one. We were now reading the Bible about Elisha, who want to also escape, or Elisha, and many, we can think about other people, Judah Iscariot, and other people, people of the Israel leaders who didn't really stand up for the values. There was one man of Scripture who went to visit the Jesus, who was taught by him but didn't stand up on his side, So, heavenly parents have to work with the people. They are ready, and he has to keep hope that they will not leave him, So they will try to grow up to the level he expects. And what he expects, is not that we come here, but that we really live the life like true parents and build up the Cholnenbuk. So this should be our faith. Our faith should be that we should really wish, through studying of the Hondok, to realize how true parents are living through observing them. That's why it's so good to watch, when True Mother there is some live broadcasting, or at least afterlook, because we can see what True Mother is doing. That's why it's so good, to connect with this Zoom meeting on Wednesday, that we can know from the leaders, how True Mother is moving. You saw that Michael Balcom is emphasizing that True Mother is now preparing for this, even in America, so we can pray for it, that everything is okay. Because that's what the feral children should do. We should work on same things like True Mother is doing. True Mother is emphasizing so much that we cannot resolve the problems of the world by human effort alone. She is saying almost every time. We need, the true parents. We need their guidance, and we need to support this guidance and unite under this guidance. All the people, all mankind, not just we here as the church, but all mankind have to come to true parents and follow. That's the only way how to resolve it. It's not what true parents decided, but this is how heavenly parents imagined. This was original plan of heavenly parent. There will be Adam and Eve, and he will completely unite with them and embody, and through them he will guide the mankind. so difficult. I try to explain to my parents, but for people it is very difficult to understand these things. But you know, I say to my parents, neither myself I decided, you know, that I will join the church. Anyway, yeah, Heavenly Parents guide me here, and yeah, I have to do what I consider that have to be done. So if Heavenly Parents choose this way, we have to do, you know, not because of me, not because of other people, but because this is the plan which Heavenly Parents have. You know, so if Heavenly Parents now, you know, bring here true parents, you know, even if we don't have personally so much experiences with true parents, and we can say that, you know, why we should follow them, why we should make extraordinary effort. But with Heavenly Parent, everybody, you know, we have, you know, Heavenly Parents give us life and caring about us and giving us the things continuously. So, you know, because of Heavenly Parents, we should make this effort to support His plan. And His plan is now worked through true parents. So, and true parents expect that we will represent them for, you know, for the society as the tribal messiahs. The other thing is that Satan is always busy trying to find reason to accuse us. It is written in the divine principle that, you know, Satan is accusing the people continuously, same as he accused the Job. Because about the Job, he was saying in the Job 1:9-11, "Does Job fear God for nothing?" Satan replied. "Have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? You have blessed the work of his hands, so that his flock and herds are spread throughout the land. But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." This is in the Job. You know, so Satan would like to bring everybody down. You know, it's written here that he continues to look for any opportunity to invite people by any means or method. So if we know what evil is doing, you know, Satan, we should not do this. You know, as I said, for Heavenly Parents, it's very difficult to keep the faith in people, because it's right, you know. If Satan is accusing, he's not accusing because of the things which are not true. You cannot in front of Heavenly Parents say that, look, you know, for example, me, I have 4 hands, you know. Anyway, everybody look on me, I have 2 hands, you know, so it's okay, you know. And Heavenly Parents know how we are, really, you know. He knows our motivation, you know. So you cannot accuse people in front of Heavenly Parents by something what is not true. But because we have the fallen nature, evil can accuse us for the fallen nature which we really have, for selfishness which we really have. That's the most difficult for Heavenly Parents, because He knows it's true. And still He has to say that, anyway, yeah, it's true, they are like this. But I have faith that one day they will really change and want to live as I originally planned, you know, want to live to make the other happy, you know. How it must be difficult, you know, when you see people massacre each other. You know, for example, communists, you know, in Cambodia, they massacre around 1.7 million people. Red Khmer, you know. And now True Mother come there, you know, and the Prime Minister, which welcome and cooperate with her, he is somehow associated with this Red Khmer, you know, which make this. Yeah. You know, it's very interesting, you know, this way of thinking. I will talk it on the end, but sometimes, you know, our way of thinking, how we are looking on the things, is maybe different than how Heavenly Parents is looking on the thing. And that can be a big problem, because, you know, not looking from Heavenly Parents' viewpoint, this was the first, somehow, sign of the fallen nature, first characteristic of fallen nature. So, to be able to see things correctly, Heavenly Parents, this is also for what we should strive in our life of faith, to understand the things. We can see that Satan don't want to yield even one person. He don't want to let even one person to leave. Yeah. So if Heavenly Parents not accusing us, we should also not accuse ourselves. Yeah. I was talking this thing. So it's about how we should live the well life, how we should care about ourselves, living for the sake of others. We should check our motivation. The importance of motivation I already emphasized. So I will ask. You should sit more close so that I can ask somebody else to do those.
The goal set up by God, the Creator, cannot change. God is the center of each person's conscience and the objective of all people's hope. No matter how much time passes, no matter what course history takes, He can never change. Before eternity and after eternity, God cannot change. That is why God said, "I'm the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end." Revelation 22:13.
This is from Chong Song Yong, this is the revelation part, and this is from Chong Song Yong. This is through Father Walls, the other. This is what I was trying to say, that Heavenly Parents will never change. True Mother is emphasizing now also that original plan of Heavenly Parents will never change. So we can be sure that all of us have to finish in Heavenly Kingdom, even if we don't want, because you cannot be more powerful than Heavenly Parents. So finally, you don't need to do anything. And one day, Heavenly Parents will bring you there because, He decided like this and He's unchangeable. We are changeable. So it's one thing from one point of view, From other point of view, if we think how much we will enter there, this is our things and it depends. Because all the investment we are doing can really bring us back, and it will pay us off by our spiritual growth, by our maturity. I already mentioned it, I think, many times, that if child is born, it's free of any evil. Small child don't want to do any bad things, so basically you can say that it's fitting for Heavenly Kingdom, It's not mature, it's true, but there is no any evil. But if you see that how child is still, concentrating for itself, you see that, it's not yet be able to build up the Chonlegu we will expect, because the Chonlegu can exist. You need, of course, that there is no evil, and there are somebody who is like parent, who is able to sacrifice for others. It's very interesting, how Heavenly Parents make it with the children, He can make it that you don't need to care about the children. There are many animals in the universe, on the earth, which can make their small grow up without almost any effort, Especially simple things, for example, flies, Flies don't care about the other flies, They put some their eggs and flies grow up. So, surely there exists technology, how you can, make grow. But Heavenly Parents make it completely different, especially for mankind. If you don't care about the child, it will surely die. So He wants to teach us something through it, because we are living here on the earth in order to prepare for spirit world. So we should observe the nature, the principles which are there, because Heavenly Parents teaching us through it. And He teach that to be the parents, you need to sacrifice and do something for others. And only like this you can raise up your children. So in order to be in Chonlegu, you need people which are free of the evil, and you need somebody who will stand up in the parent's position and sacrifice for others. It was already said in the Jesus time, when they asked the Jesus, who can be the biggest, or how we can be the biggest in the kingdom of heaven? Do you know what Jesus answered? Yes, this He said, and He said, go and serve to your brothers and sisters. If you will serve them, this is what parents do, Parents are the servant of the children. And it is very interesting, because child cry, and parents have to wake up, change the diapers. This is like servant work, So this is very interesting, how it is done, So if somebody would like to be the biggest, he have to serve. This already Jesus said, and it's true, you know. You can see it on True Parents, you know. True Mother said it also in the video, if you were here on the news. I am the mother of mankind. I go where I need to go, where I'm asked to go. You know? This is, if you will look on the public persons, even whether it's politicians, they are almost not free. You know, politicians cannot even freely use their Facebook. You know, they have to say that what they put out, that is not used by them. You know, misused by media, you know, turn against them. You know, so they almost don't have freedom. You can write basically on Facebook what you want. You know, if you will be political, you cannot, because they will say that this was wrong, or that is wrong. You have to apologize for this or apologize for that. You know, and if there is some event, you have to be there, present. You know, so yeah, more and more you will go up in the position, more or less you will have freedom. Indeed, Heavenly Parents don't have any freedom. He have to follow 100% His law of true love, living for the sake of others. You know, it's really interesting to see, you know, who is more happy, whether parents or children. It was very interesting. My mother every time was saying me that the best, you know, best time of life is the childhood, when you just are free, you can go where you want, you can do what you want, and as you are growing up, the responsibility is, you know, adding and adding and adding, and you have less and less freedom. You can see it, you know, at home, you know, when you see the mother is cooking, you know, father is trying to manage something, and children maybe often have time, you know, to deal, to play on the phone, or look here or look there, you know, look on the videos. Yeah, that's the things how we are maturing in the life, and we should think about it that indeed this is normal, and we have to be continuously trying to improve in our and find the motivation for it. So, what kind of person should we become? Become a person who lives on behalf of God, loving others the way God would. So, you can see from True Father, Lord, that we should become like Heavenly Parent, like True Parents, and love the others. I'm going to ask Gigi to read.
Some members here have lived a life of faith knowing God's will for only 1 year, others for more than 10 years or half a lifetime. The issue then is whether you have stood still, made progress or retreated. You need to clearly know where you stand, and then you can go over the next hill. You may have made significant progress in the past, but if you are at a standstill today, God's living vitality cannot be with you, and you cannot maintain a loving relationship with God. You may have made tremendously positive strides in the past, moving forward with boundless value, boundless vitality, and the boundless power of love. But if you are now at a standstill, you are already separated from God. 1970, June 14.
Thank you. So, yeah, this is what I said, why we are living the life of faith. We should see the progress in our life. Because at whatever we're doing, you know, I'm studying already, I think, 3 years the Italians in my job. Because they are such a possibility, you know, I'm not studying at all, I'm just going to the house. And I have such a result, yeah. And yeah, this is exactly my motivation, you know, to just participate a little bit brain, mind, brain, and be there, but I don't want to really learn Italian, you know, so, because you can see from what I'm doing, you know, I have to do other things that are more important for me, and the learning Italian is not important, so I'm just attending the others. You can really, you know, if I will try to convince somebody how it is important, you know, for my job, and how I really need it, and everybody will see that I'm not giving time to it, he will not believe me, you know. I can, of course, explain it, you know, that I have other much more important issue, you know, for the company. But its reality is like this, you know. So, the result will show, so this is also, whether we are progressing in our life of faith, whether our connection with Heavenly Parents is growing up, it's showing, the result is showing whether, you know, we are really doing things well. You know, do you think that Heavenly Parents have planned for the restoration? Who think that Heavenly Parents have the plan for restoration? Do you think this plan is just for the world, or for Hungary, or for each individual? So who think that the Heavenly Parents have planned for him how to develop? Yes, that is. And do you think that evil is less clever than the God? So do you think that evil have also planned for the Hungary, for the world? You can see it in the history how they were preparing crucifixion of the Jesus. And do you think that evil have planned for each one of you? It's have, you know. It's have. It's reality, you know. You can look on it that it's not nice, or it's not, you know. Evil is reality. It's have planned for each one of us. Also, and it's also tried to execute it. You know, it's battle. You can read it before there was written that Satan don't want to heal even one person. He will, you know, do his effort, and it's, you know, it's true. You know, so if in our life of faith we are not progressing, you cannot maintain, you know, the things constant. This also teaches this physical world. You know, if you build up the house, if you don't care about it, you can see it in village sometimes, you know, or somewhere. You will see how the house is deteriorating. If you don't care about your car, it will be destroyed, you know. If you don't care about life of faith, I mean, you have to care about car properly, you know. It doesn't mean that, you know, you will come to the car and caress it. You know, you need to change oil, you need to do it proper way. So in your life of faith, you know, if you not do the right things, it will also deteriorate. It's the reality, you know. So if we realize this, we have to think how to change it, because there is plan, you know, from good, which can help us to improve. There is plan from the evil, which want to really make us bad things, you know. And unfortunately, you know, I think this is really lack of understanding, you know. I don't know in our church, but outside for sure, you know. When I talk with my parents again, you know, I realize they are not aware of existence of the evil. They are not aware of existence that evil is power which don't have any mercy. They killed the Jesus Messiah without any sin. And they will kill anybody else, you know, spiritually, physically, without any mercy, you know. It's just simple for evil, you know, pursuing of its goal. And there are many, you know, central evil spirits which basically try to live very similar like the archangel by dominating the people. You know, from the fall, the archangel start to dominate people, and you can see that many people nowadays, you know, you can see not just men but also many women, you know, they taking, you know, the style of the man and trying to dominate the things, whether in the work or somewhere else, but man is also doing, you know. So instead of to have parental viewpoint, you know, you try to use the others for your own goals. Almost everybody, you know, I can guarantee you that you will not find in the job any boss which really think about how to develop you, how to help you. They will just think how they can use you for their own profit. Whatever they will say to you, you know, they will even try to convince you that, you know, they are doing different. You know, of course, you know, nobody is not 100% good and evil, you know, but we will find this aspect in them. You know? So, yeah. So we should really look on our life of faith not to be like this, you know, and to really improve, because we need to improve ourselves, you know. Because we are not yet perfect, and without making the effort for improvement, we will not become. With this, you know, if you remember, Hyogenim, first son, Hyogenim, he was saying so much that it's important to die well. I didn't understand this that time so much. But nowadays, when I think about it, I really see, you know, especially when you see this one, you know, that it's really important how we are living, you know. The Father said that we can make a lot of progress, but if now we are not progressing. So I believe this is really important, because, you know, if I was in the church even 20 years making the effort, but finally I will live same like people outside, around me. And if I consider that I'm preparing here for the life in the spirit world, so I will enter the spirit world like I will enter. Same like other people around me, because this is my lifestyle before I enter to the spirit world. So really dying, well, it is very important, and you can see it in this example which I was saying, for example, about this Prime Minister of Cambodia. Maybe he was associated, 20 years ago or 40 years ago with some groups which were killing, people. And now, if he will support, the Messiah, he can be blessed. It can maybe from our logic, human logic, it seems impossible, But look what's happened, in the time of Jesus. This is last, reading.
2 other men, both criminals, were also led out with him to be executed. When they came to the place called the Skull, they crucified him there along with the criminals, one on his right, the other on his left. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And they divided up his clothes by casting lots. The people stood watching, and the rulers even sneered at him. They said, "He saved others, let him save himself if he is God's Messiah, the chosen one." The soldiers also came up and mocked him. They offered him wine, vinegar, and said, "If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself." There was a written notice above him which read, "This is the king of the Jews." One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other criminal rebuked him. "Don't you fear God," he said, "since you are under the same sentence? We are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus answered him, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." Luke 23, 32, 43.
You have to wait for the translation. Yeah. This is showing many things. First of all, you can see how is evil cruel. When you read this, how really evil is cruel, what everything they did to Messiah, not just kill him simply, but really very bad way. And this evil, didn't change, from that time. So this is one thing. Second thing, this is what I wanted to emphasize, that they were criminals, and they were punished justly. And they know it, because they said it, they didn't complain we are punished because of political reason. They basically said that they are punished justly. They did something wrong, that they deserve to be punished by death, by cruel death. And Jesus said, because he died well, he supported him, he will be in that day with him in the paradise. So basically he will be the first person entering the paradise together with the Jesus, even though he was criminal, even though he was making bad things, because he died well, because in that time what he did was good. So this is really important. We should think about it. And in this light, I can really say that what Eugene was saying, that we have to really die well. This is really important. It's important how we really live, which fruits we will bring with us, fruits of our faith, to the day when we need to really pass to the spirit world. So we have the last inspiration. The taller a tree grows, the deeper its roots becomes in the soil. A tree whose roots is shallow will either be withdrawn away or be uprooted by the strong wind. The root signifies faith, the fruit signify deed. So our faith is our root. So if we have our faith good, we have to bring good fruits. So if you don't see the fruits of the faith bringing, you should think that, we have to do something with our roots, with our faith, with our life of faith. And this can give us the hope. So I hope that you will remember that Heavenly Parents is Almighty, So we are all destined to go to heavenly kingdom. So you don't need to worry. Always, I hope that you will worry about your life of faith. That you can go there as quickly as possible to improve. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. I hope if I inspire you by something. And yeah, we can now pray silently. So thank you very much for listening.
Köszönöm szépen. Most elérkezett az áldó imának az ideje. Szeretném megkérni benneteket, hogy álljatok fel, és akkor a megbízott nemzeti vezetőpárosokat kérem, hogy fáradjanak előre, és adják áldásunkat a közösségünkben.
Drága mennyei szülőnk, köszönjük szépen, hogy Dávidon keresztül szóltál hozzánk, mennyei szülőnk. Reméljük, hogy mindegyikünk szívével tudtál juttatni egy kis szeretett magot, megnyíszülünk, amit ki tudunk nevelni, és a mindennapi életünkben általa közelebb kerülünk hozzád, és másokat is közelebb vinni hozzád. Köszönjük, hogy ennyien itt lehetünk, megnyíszülünk. Fiatalok, idősebbek, megnyíszülünk. Köszönjük, hogy az egész héten vigyáztál ránk. Bár most, ahogy közeledik a igazapának születésének a 100. évfordulója, nagyon sok esemény sűrűsödik. Igazanya a 40 napos kánáni helyreállítási kurzusnak a vége felé jár. Rengeteg országban volt, nagyon sokat utazott, sok vezetővel találkozott, most a Dominikai Köztársaságban van. És hamarosan megy az Amerikai Egyesült Államokba, ahol nagyon készülnek fogadni megnyíszülünk a tejszülött lányunkat. Imádkozunk igazán egészségért, megnyíszülünk. Azért, hogy mindazzal a tevékenységgel, vagy gondolattal, szavakkal, amiket teszünk, megnyíszülünk, amiket gondolunk, amiket mondunk, azzal igazán tudjuk támogatni, és ezzel örömet tudjunk neked is egymásnak is szerezni. Szeretnénk példát venni róla abban, hogy amit megígért neked, és megígért igazapának 2012-ben, az töretlenül véghez viszi. Nem kiméli önmagát, nem megtart vissza önmagából semmit megnyíszülünk, hanem mint egy igaz szülő, megy és a világon minden egyes gyermekét átöleli, aki hajlandó őt fogadni. Megnyíszülünk, szeretnénk mi magunk is itt Magyarországon egy olyan alapot egységben együtt felépíteni, amelyen képesek lehetünk majd igazanyát fogadni. Hiszen nem mindenki mondhatja el magáról azt, hogy a messiással, te egyszülött lányoddal egy időben él. Szeretnénk ezt az időszakot igazán értékelni, megnyíszülni, nem elszalasztani a napjainkat, nem értéktelenül csak önmagunkért leélni, hanem valóban felajánlani neked. Szeretnénk olyan családokat felépíteni, amelyekben te jelen lehetsz. Megnyíszülni, nagyon sok mindennapi bátorításra van szükségünk. És tényleg én személy szerint nagyon hálás vagyok azért, hogy láthatom igazanyát, mert az ő erőfeszítéseiből nap mint nap erőt tudok meríteni. És tényleg kívánom azt, hogy mindegyikünk tudjunk szívben azonosulni igazanyával. És bár nem lehetünk fizikailag mindenütt ott vele, mégis tudjuk őt képviselni. Akár a családunkon belül, a törzsünkön belül, a munkahelyünkön, a környezetünkben megnyíszülünk, hogy reményt tudjunk adni más embereknek, megnyíszülünk. Szeretnénk imádkozni azokért a testvéreinkért, akiknek nehézségeik vannak, akár lelki vagy egészségi nehézségeik, hogy mindig lássanak téged, és mindig a te szemeddel tekintsenek a helyzetükre, és mi magunk is mindig a te szemeddel tudjunk nézni saját helyzetünkre, másokra is megnyíszülünk. Imádkozom most a Albániában a csomóval résztvevő testvérekre, hogy mindenki megújulva tudjon visszatérni a hazájába, és sok erőt és lendületet kapjon azért, hogy jobb ember lehessen, és többet tudjon másoknak is segíteni. Lehet, hogy egyszerű szavak, amik elhangoznak, megnyíszülnek akár egy ima által, de tényleg a szívünket szeretnénk felajánlani, és meghívni az elkövetkezendő héthez. Ezt ajánlom fel, hogy Timás Zsuzsanna nevében áldott központi családból.
Köszönöm szépen, kérlek foglaljatok helyet. Csak nagyon rövid bejelenteni valóban. Az egyik, ami már Zsuzsa említett, hogy most Albániában van pár testvérünk a Csomó eventen. Jövő héten ez Moszkvába kerül megrendezésre. Erről láttatok rövid kis hírt a híradóban. Zsuzsa jelezte, hogy még szeretne valamit bejelenteni.
Jó, akkor elsőre beszeretném jelenteni, ami múltkor elmaradt, amikor a YSP-t felkonferáltuk. Igazából véve a Nani Jacqueline és a Kecskés Krisztián lesznek, akik a YSP-t képviselik, és álljatok föl. Fogadjuk őket szeretettel, ez egy úttörő munka lesz, ugye ilyen még nem volt nálunk, úgyhogy nem lesz egyszerű dolguk, de vannak, akik segítik, támogatják őket, és nagyon remélem, hogy ez sok inspirációt ad a fiataloknak is, nem csak a mi fiataljainknak, hanem tényleg másoknak is, és hogy jönni fognak majd a különböző programokra, úgyhogy sok erőt kívánok nektek. Jacqueline most megy is Amerikába, Monikával és a Mary Jane-nel együtt, úgyhogy ennek is nagyon örülünk. 5 másik emberrel együtt, úgyhogy 80 képviseljük Magyarországot, ezt nagyon hálásak vagyunk nekik, úgyhogy majd akkor hallhatjuk, hogy milyen élményeik voltak, amikor hazajöttek. Szerintem az már egy évben marad. Köszönjük szépen! Az az ötletem is támadt, így beszélgettük, hogy majd szeretnénk kérni rendszeres beszámolót, akár ahogy ők gondolják, tehát a tevékenységeikről, ahogy állnak, tehát akár havonta 40 naponként, ez megbeszélés alatt van. Ugyanúgy én szeretném a Nőszövetségtől is, meg majd a UPF-től is, meg ki kell találni, ki fogja a UPF-nek a tevékenységeit így prezentálni. A másik az, hogy készültünk egy tortával, mert ugye novemberben és decemberben is sok születésnapos volt, és különösen ma is van egy születésnapos, ugye? Boldog színapot, Livi! Úgyhogy, de többen a Szandrának is voltak, és mindenki is a többieket nem tudom pontosan, úgyhogy lent van egy torta, akkor majd mindenki fogyasszon szeretettel. Ja, igen, tudom, majd elfejtettem, hogy a Szorosenko Dániel béke nagykövet rögtön reagálva ugye a Dureszi földrengésre úgy döntött, hogy akkor ezt az adományozó szervezetét is, hogy is mondjam, beveti, és akkor elkezdett adományokat gyűjteni, és ma indulnak, már úton vannak idefelé, így fölveszik az adományt, amit itt a testvérek összegyűjtöttek, és mennek Albániába, úgyhogy komoly, tehát videót is fognak készíteni erről az útról, és azon kívül, hogy ugye az Egyesítő Közösség is adományozott, több testvér is adományozott, sőt, hát Dániel elég sok mindenkit ismert, többek között még, tehát sok mindenki is adományozott nekik, mert ugye az út az eléggé borsos összeg, úgyhogy volt tárgybeli adományozás is, meg ugye pénzbeli adományozásra is lehetőség, úgyhogy köszönjük mindenkinek, aki ehhez hozzájárult, és azért én úgy érzem, hogy ez nagyon klassz dolog, mert pont ma olvastam, hogy a Németország most kezdte el az adománygyűjtést Dures számára, úgyhogy ő úgy látszik hamarabb reagált, gyorsabb volt. Úgyhogy szerintem ő megérdemel egy tapsot, én úgy gondolom. Biztos olvastátok, azt azért most elmondom, de úgyis bejelent, hogy lesz egy békekoncert január 10-én itt a Békeházban, amit a Dániel szervez, és meghívott, tehát itt a kerületből 8 egyháznak a képviselőit meghívta, úgyhogy remélem, hogy minél többen el tudtok jönni, és hogy nehezen fogunk beférni. Mindenkit szeretettel várunk, ha jól emlékszem, 6-kor lesz, de a meghívók már ki lettek küldve már, szerintem már legalább egy hete. Úgyhogy azt hiszem ennyi. Nem semmit nem felejtettem. Ja, dehogy nem, igen, tudom, hogy hát minden. Ugye egy készülő, tehát közeledik ugye a koreai rendezvénysorozat, ami igaz apa születésének a 100. évfordulója, és igaz szülők áldásának a 60. évfordulójára kerül megrendezésre, és hát nagyon sok különböző esemény is lesz. És kérték tényleg, ha aki tudja, és úgy érzi, anyagilag is lehet támogatni ugye ezt az eseményt. Én küldtem erről már, ha jól emlékszem, szerintem már lassan 2 hete egy levelet, úgyhogy az adományokat szerintem a február 1-ig lehet felajánlani, aki el akarja küldeni, elküldheti, de személyesen egy páran megyünk Koreába, úgyhogy rajtunk keresztül is.
No, just to these things. I was emphasizing how much we have to somehow see what True Mother is doing. True Mother is concentrating what I see to win the politicians. So this event in Korea will be really grandiose, this summit. But of course, you cannot ask, that somebody else pay it. So if we want to really help True Mother, we can help in it. And the somehow more even reason behind is that True Mother is trying to create such environment that Korean government will have to cooperate with us. So if we invite a lot of heads of state or important politicians there, the government of Korea cannot ignore us. But of course, to do this, the resources are needed. So if you think about this donation, of course, it's your free will and this, but think about it that you can really help a lot True Mother to realize her plans, to finally help the Korean nation and the representative of Korean nation, especially the politician, to fulfill their responsibility, because we know that this is, continuously, this is Heavenly Parents' plan. As I was saying, that Heavenly Parents have planned for us. He have also planned how to restore this world through the chosen nation of Korea. So we should somehow trust that Heavenly Parents work a lot on it, and we should try to help that this plan go out, because this is the most clever and best way how to reach this goal. Yeah. So if you think about this donation, think about it that you can help to fulfill this. And just second thing, we have also 40 days condition. Please pray for all these points, like True Mother, health, and also for people who go to America, that everybody receive, this ESTA, and if they need visa, that they receive visa, that they can go and really connect to it, and that we can find really good people for this Korean summit, that we can connect with it and somehow use this opportunity also to restore the Hungary. If we want to restore the Hungary, we need to somehow open the way towards the politicians, because this is how True Mother work. So we need to find the good John the Baptist, which can really get inspired and which can open the way for us. I believe the Heavenly Parents have the plan. I believe He prepared the people. We just need to set up the right conditions. Thank you very much.
Köszönjük szépen az Isten tiszteletet. Még egyszer köszönjük a bejelenteni valókat. Zsuzsét jelentkezett valamit szeretne megosztani.
Can we listen to one more song? Because when you asked me that where I get hope from, then I said this sentence that from God. And I would like to, that I don't want anyone to think that I am so arrogant, that I have so good relationship with God. So of course God is invisible. So through people, through things, through many things I can feel God in my life, and through this I can have hope. And this, what Mishi will now, if we can listen to this song, then this gives me much hope nowadays. So I would like to listen to it if it's possible.
Sure. Or if it's YouTube, you can make it here. If it's YouTube, you can find it. You will sing?
Hálával telten a szeretet útját jár. szeretetét, a béke áldása, amire igazán vágyom, körülvesz most engem, érzem jelenlétét, hálával teltem, a szeretet útját járom, érzem most magamban Isten szeretetét, a béke áldása, amire igazán vágyom, körülvesz most engem, érzem jelenlétét. Világosság legyen, legyen én bennem, elfogadás legyen, legyen én velem, szeretet legyen, legyen én bennem, megértés legyen, legyen én velem. Hálával teltem, a szeretet útját járom, érzem most magamban Isten szeretetét, a béke áldása, amire igazán vágyom, körülvesz most engem, érzem jelenlétét. Elengedés legyen, legyen én bennem, béke legyen, legyen én velem, megbocsájtás legyen, legyen én bennem, áldás legyen, legyen én velem. A fájdalom helyett a tiszta örömöt választom, a félelem helyett a szeretetet választom, a harag helyett a megbocsájtást választom, a csalódás helyett a belső békét választom, a fájdalom helyett a tiszta örömöt választom, a félelem helyett a szeretetet választom, van.
Bellának hívják az előadót.
Szeretném megköszönni azt, hogy eljöttek, hogy itt vagytok velünk, és szeretnék mindjárt nagyon szép hetet kívánni, Isten áldjon titeket. Köszönöm.